Hey there, how's it going? Today is day 77 of my 100-day inspiration challenge, and today I want to talk about going through a breakdown to get through a breakthrough. So, I first want to start out by sharing how a caterpillar becomes a butterfly. So, this is something that some of us know, and some of us know some details of how it works. But I learned something recently that I thought was so amazing and so cool and so powerful. So, obviously, a caterpillar starts out small. They have to eat a bunch of vegetation and then they become bigger and bigger. And then eventually, when they are ready, they create a cocoon or a chrysalis and they go inside of that. But what I didn't know and what I just recently learned is that while they are inside this chrysalis, their body physically decompresses. Inside of this chrysalis, they become like caterpillar soup. So they have these parts inside of them. They're called imaginal discs, and they're like little sacs inside the caterpillar. And when they go into the cocoon, their physical body of the caterpillar, their physical shape, it decomposes. And so the only thing left is a liquid, a fluid with these imaginal discs. And so the imaginal discs have their different parts for when they become a butterfly. But they literally have to break down to become a butterfly. They have to let go of their life as they know it as a caterpillar, literally, physically, and in every way, they break down who they are to continue on the journey toward becoming a butterfly. So then these imaginal discs have to go through massive cellular growth. So for instance, for a fruit fly, the wings of a fruit fly, or the imaginal discs of the wings of a fruit fly, in the beginning, they will have close to 50 cells. And by the time of the end of the transformation, they will have gone through so much growth that they will have close to 50,000 cells. So 50 to 50,000 cells because of the massive growth, the massive disruption that is happening during that time. And then once the new creature has formed, the butterfly has formed, then it's not over for them yet. They still have to break through. They have to break through that chrysalis. And so obviously hormones and nature kind of help it out a little bit and facilitate. But the thing that I learned is the cocoon, it hangs from a tree and then a hole breaks out the bottom. And the thing about that hole is it can't be too wide. The hole needs to be very narrow. The hole needs to have resistance because the butterfly has to kind of shimmy out of it and then it fully expands its wings. And through that process, its wings become strong. There is a hormone that's released. And through that process, the wings become strong so that it is ready to fly. But if that hole breaks and it is too big, the butterfly will fall out of the chrysalis, will fall out of the cocoon, and it won't go through that process of its wings expanding. It will die on the ground because it hasn't gone through that resistance. So it needs that resistance to grow and to become what it actually is and to turn into a strong butterfly. So I thought this was so applicable to our lives. I always say that we can learn so much from nature, and this is a perfect case in point. So starting with the breakdown of the caterpillar's physical body, sometimes we go through things and we have to break down our past self. We have to let go of who we were to become someone new, to become a greater version of ourselves, and it's scary. But if we want to become the best versions of ourselves, then we need to have that courage to leave that version of ourselves that we currently are in the past so that we can move forward. The second thing that we can learn from this is the massive growth that happens. So your transformation doesn't just come from a breakdown. It doesn't just come from going through something challenging or going through something hard. You have to be open to facing that thing. You have to say, what can I learn from this? How can I grow from this experience? How can I be a better version of myself? It takes being proactive. It takes massive growth to go through that transformation. Whether that is, surrounding yourself with better people, asking questions, going into massive action, whatever it is, we always have to be growing. We always have to be evolving so that we can become the better versions of ourselves. And then the final point is that breakthrough, right? And understanding that resistance is something that is actually good. Resistance is building tension. It is building your muscle so that you can break through. It forces you to grow. It's kind of like going to the gym, right? We have to build our muscles. And every single time that we mess up or we fail, it is building our resistance. It is making us a better version of ourselves. We have to push through that. We have to have our final destination in mind, aka a flying, soaring butterfly, and work through that resistance to get to the other side. I thought that this was so valuable. Every single breakdown in your life can lead to a breakthrough if you are open to it. What can you learn from those experiences? Your pain, your story is so valuable. I heard from someone the other day and they said, when you get to the other side of your pain or whatever is going on, then you get to be a helper for the people who go through that same thing. And that is so true. We go through different experiences to grow as individuals, but also to help each other because we are all in this together. And your breakthroughs, if you let them, if you allow them, if you are excited and look for the opportunity, your breakthroughs your breakdowns will lead to breakthroughs. Breakthroughs always come from hard times. They don't just come out of nothing. A breakthrough is a massive change. It can't just come from your day-to-day. It comes from going from one side of the coin to the other. So that down period, that is so important to the whole transformation, to the whole breakthrough. So anytime that you are going through something hard, have that light at the end of the tunnel. Know that this breakdown is serving a purpose in your life because soon, eventually, whether it's a month, whether it's 6 months, whether it's a year, whether it's 5 years, you are going to get through this and you are going to be a better version of yourself because breakdowns lead to breakthroughs and that leads to you being a better version of yourself. Keep showing up for yourself every single day because if you do, there is nowhere that you can go but up. If you would like to dive deeper with me, you can head over to my website, showuptogoup.com. I'll see you next time. Bye.